Welcome to my channel. My name is Ria and today I'm going to take you through the astrology for this week. So let's get started. Now we begin this week on Monday with the last quarter square of the moon, right? And I'll show this to you on the chart. The sun here and the moon here make their last 90-degree angle before the new moon, right? We have a new moon in Cancer coming up next week, June 28th. But this is the week where we start to let go and close out the last lunar month, right? That's what the last quarter square of the moon is all about. So the entire week, right, all the way up till 28th June, starting Monday, the energy is about letting go, right? It's about releasing, and this could be a very subtle process. This could be a very subconscious process, right? Letting go of that new energy that entered our lives with the new moon in Gemini on 30th May. So that's what this week is all about, and it's about, letting go of things that are not important connected to that energy. That energy seeded itself on 30th May. We've been working on it, but now it's time to really, streamline what comes along with us to the next lunar month and what goes about that energy. So that's how we begin the week, with the last quarter square of the moon. And on Monday, the moon is going to be in the sign of Pisces, right? All of Monday Pacific time, and at 9 p.m. it does enter the sign of Aries. For most of the world, all of Monday, the moon is going to be in the sign of Pisces, and the moon changes signs every 2.5 days, right? And in subtle ways, whichever sign the moon is in, that energy impacts our lives. So in Pisces, right, on Monday, the energy is more about going with the flow, taking it a little easy, surrendering to the flow of things. So that's what Pisces energy is all about. It's also an energy that supports creative things, that supports spiritual things, right? So that's Monday. And moving on to Tuesday, right? A few important things happen on Tuesday. So I'm just going to move up the chart and then we'll see all this. So on Tuesday, we have the moon in Aries, as I just mentioned, that it does change signs. And the moon in Aries is a very go-getting energy, right? It likes to go after what it wants, right? Aries is a Mars-ruled energy. Aries is representative of the warrior, the athlete, right? It's about taking action. It's about going after what you want, and it's about doing things, right? It's about making things happen, taking action. So the moon is going to be in that sign, and if you look at the chart, right, the moon has joined a lot of energy, right? We have Mars is here, Mars in Aries, Jupiter is in Aries, the moon Chiron has been in Aries. Jupiter entered Aries on 10th of May, Mars on 24th of May. So for the past month or so, right, we've had this burst of Aries energy. Aries is about the new, right? It's the first sign of the zodiac. It's about the new. It's about stepping into the new. And with Jupiter there, we are starting a new 12-year cycle, right? That's what we're doing right now. And with Mars there, Mars rules the sign of Aries. With Mars there, we're really able to take action and move forward, right? So we have a lot of Aries right now, and the moon there from Tuesday to Thursday is just going to give us that boost, that fuel, that power in a way to take action, to make things happen, to follow your dreams, to step into this new energy, to step into this new cycle of Aries, right? And although Jupiter entered the sign of Aries on 10th of May, up until June 3rd, Mercury was retrograde. So we really didn't feel that, we felt that, right? There was this energy of, let's go now. But then Mercury was retrograde, holding us back. Think it through, review it, revise it, think it through again. So that is what was going on. And now that Mercury is direct and has been for a while, I believe, 15, 16, 17 days now, we can use that Arian energy in a better way, I would say. But the moon in Aries from Tuesday to Thursday will really supercharge this Arian energy. So great for taking action, great for getting to your to-do list, right? And The only thing with Aries is that every sign has a positive manifestation and a negative manifestation. And I'm not saying if you're an Aries moon or if you're an Aries, you're these things. I'm just saying Aries energy manifests in certain ways, right? And one of the ways in which Aries manifests is that it can be impulsive, right? It can be aggressive. It can start things without really thinking it through and then not completing it. So that is the downside of Aries. And why I bring this up right now is because the moon is also in Aries. So it's great, right? Start that thing you want. Get to doing something that you've been too scared to do maybe in the past, right? Because Aries energy is great for that. It's courage as well. But hold back a little, right? Hold back a little. Think it through a few times. Is it something that you can commit to for the long run, right? Is it something that you can commit to? So keep that in mind, and best to avoid confrontations, best to avoid reacting, right? If we know that there's a lot of reactive energy, then we won't react. And I understand the moon in Aries, my moon is in Aries, and how I channel this energy is by working out, right? That's how I do it. I just use this Arian energy every morning and I just go for a workout. So that helps me a lot. And when I don't work out, which happens sometimes, right, I just don't feel that good. So that's going to be on Tuesday. The first thing that I wanted to talk about, and a few other things are happening, and you can see this. The sun on Tuesday, right, enters the sign of Cancer. Now the sun changes signs every 30 days, right? And it has been in the sign of Gemini. Now Gemini and Cancer are very different energies. Gemini is a playful energy. It's about learning, it's about being on the move, it's about talking, communicating, learning information, right? Gemini. And when the sun is in that sign, we feel a subtle shift, right? We feel a subtle shift towards Gemini energy. But keep in mind that there are a lot of other energies that are going on as well. So we might feel a subtle shift because only one energy is changing, but the other energies do color the chart. And right now we have a lot of Aries and a lot of Taurus. So we'll feel the sun, but maybe not as much as we are feeling the Aries energy right now. So the sun is going to change signs, and Cancer is all about going within, right? It's all about close friends. It's about the inner world. It's a very psychic energy as well. It's also an energy that likes to focus on self-care, on self-love, on nourishment, right? It's also to do with cooking and food, that sort of thing. So for the next 30 days, where the sun is concerned, although there's too much Aries right now, right? I don't want to say things will slow down because there's a lot of Aries, but there might be this subtle shift towards, maybe withdrawing a little bit, maybe focusing on your needs a little bit, maybe wanting to, take a break from all the stimulation that's been going on and really just focus on yourself, right? Your happiness, your comfort, your safety, nourishing yourself a little bit, taking out time to maybe breathe, meditate, take a nap, like the fourth house, or cook a nice meal for yourself. So these things might happen a little more in these 30 days than they have in say the past 30 days, because Gemini is on the go. It's let's do this, let's talk about this, yeah, this also. So there's a lot with Gemini, right? Cancer is different. It's all about going within, right? It's all about going within. It's your inner world. It's your closest people. It's about feeling comfortable. So there'll be a subtle shift into that, and that's Tuesday. Another thing that happens on Tuesday is that Venus on Tuesday is going to trine Pluto, right? So let me show you guys. Venus here does trine Pluto, make a positive aspect with Pluto. Now Venus is the planet of love, right? Romantic love. It's the planet of finances. It's the planet of material possessions. It's the planet of our skills. It's the planet of our appearances, right? All these things are Venus, and it's making a harmonious aspect with Pluto, the planet of transformation, the planet of change, the planet of catharsis, right? The planet of spiritual transformation as well. And with Pluto, everything comes to the surface, whether that's information being revealed, whether that's something that you have buried deep inside you, and Pluto wants to take that out and ask you to release it. So that's Pluto energy. It takes something and it totally transforms it, and it can totally transform it by releasing and catharsis and healing, or it can say no, end this thing and begin this thing. So that's Pluto, and it's making a positive aspect with Venus, so this can lead to a transformation to Venus, right? To maybe a romantic relationship, or it can lead to a transformation in how you approach a romantic relationship. It could be that you change up something connected to your appearance, a transformation to that, or something internal connected to your self-worth or finances. Any one of these things. Venus is a lot of things, so transformation to that, and that doesn't feel challenging, right? It's kind of happening, right? It's just happening organically, and it's flowing, you can say. So that also happens on Tuesday. So a lot happening on Tuesday this week, and then I'm going to move up the chart, and on Wednesday, right, that's when Venus changes signs. Venus enters the sign of Gemini. So for the past, since May 28th, Venus has been in the sign of Taurus, right? And Taurus is the sign that Venus rules along with Libra. And Venus feels very comfortable in Taurus, although this time around Venus did meet up with Uranus, did meet up with the North Node, and did go over the eclipse spots, which meant a lot of transformation, a lot of change, a lot of instability, you can say, connected to Venus, right? Connected to love, romance, relationships, self-worth, values, skills, legal issues as well, business partnerships as well, all these things. And now it's entered the sign of Gemini, and Venus in Gemini is all about being playful about these Venus things, right? Or it could be that, say for example, that you want to start multiple things at once, right? Multiple projects. I want to write this, I want to do this, I want to start this as well, I want to start this as well. Or it can be, I want to learn this skill, I want to learn this skill, I want to learn this skill as well. Or it can lead to a lot of communication in relationships. And with Venus in Gemini, Gemini is like, every sign has a positive and a negative. And I'm not saying if you're a Gemini, you're this. We all have Gemini somewhere in our charts, but Gemini energy is very restless, right? It likes excitement. It likes to learn new things. It likes to do new things. It likes to be on the go. So this is a time we might want to infuse our love life or romantic life with some excitement. That also happens with Venus in Gemini, or our projects with excitement, or we might want to do a lot of things associated with these things with Venus in Gemini, or we might get excited or change up how we look, right? Maybe we are a little bored with maybe our hairstyle or something, and Venus in Gemini, it's like, okay, you know what, I'm going to do it, I'm going to change it up. So that's the vibe with Venus in Gemini. More playful, more about being excited, more about trying different things. So that happens on Wednesday, and that's the highlight of Wednesday. And then Thursday into Friday, Thursday the moon is still going to be in the sign of Aries, right? It does change signs on Thursday, so the moon will end. Let's see that actually. Yeah, there we go. Moon enters the sign of Taurus on Thursday, right? Now this is a shift in energy. Aries and Taurus are very different energies. Aries is, let's do this now, taking action, right? Going for what you want. It's more about action than emotion. And Taurus is different. Taurus is about stability, it's about security, and the moon is exalted in Taurus. It's about indulgence, right? It's about indulging and feeling good. So for the next two and a half days or so, as the moon moves through the sign of Taurus, there'll be this desire maybe to indulge a little bit, right? Or this feeling of things slowing down a tad bit, but Venus has just entered Gemini. So although with the moon there's this slowness coming in, with Venus in Gemini there's this excitability that's going on at the same time. And the moon in Taurus is an energy that supports, going for a walk in nature, indulging your senses, maybe in some good food, maybe in something else. So that's the moon in Taurus. It's a slower energy. It's a more stable energy than the moon in Aries. And the moon loves the sign of Taurus, right? It loves the sign of Taurus because the moon is our emotions, right? And Taurus is stable and secure and grounded. And we feel good when things are stable, right? We don't feel good emotionally when, say, in Aries, right? Where it's about, let's do this now. Our emotions tend to not feel the best. So and that's going to be from Thursday to Saturday, right? The moon in the sign of Taurus. And let me see if I have missed out on anything. No, I haven't actually. And then on Saturday, the moon does change signs, Saturday into Sunday. Let's see it actually. Yeah, it's more like Saturday evening. Some places this might be Sunday morning. The moon does change signs and it enters the sign of Gemini, right? You can see this. And now we have three energies in Gemini. Mercury is there, Venus is there, now the moon is there. And if you see, slowly, the energies are moving away, right? And the past few months, the energies have been very concentrated. Capricorn, Aquarius, then Pisces, then Aries, Taurus. And now if you see, we still have a lot of energy in Aries. But Venus has moved out of Taurus, so has Mercury, and now they're in Gemini. So slowly there's this movement that we're seeing where the energies are moving apart. And that's a good thing in a way, because when the energies are really concentrated, there's a lot of intensity, right? And in our personal charts, that's intensity in one area or two areas, because the planets are just, transiting one or two houses. So anyway, coming back to this, the moon's going to be in Gemini, and this is when, that excitement that I want to learn this, I want to communicate this, all that is really highlighted for these 2 days as the moon moves through the sign of Gemini. And with Gemini, sometimes there can be a lot of stimulation. So if you're feeling that, if you're feeling like overly stimulated, if you're feeling like there's too much going on, take time out, right? Take time out to relax a little bit. And to sum it up, I would say that this is a week where we will be closing out the last lunar month, right? So that's going on in the background. And next week on 28th June, we do have a new moon in the sign of Cancer. So we are building up to that this week, right? This week, Venus does change signs. It enters Gemini, where Mercury is already. So we are feeling a shift in energy, things getting more excited, things getting more playful in a way. So that's happening as well. And the sun does enter the sign of Cancer. So I think that's a good thing, because with so much Gemini, the sun in Cancer can really help us, hold back a little bit and go within when we need to. So that's there as well. And last week we had a full moon, right, in the sign of Sag, and that full moon was in a square to Neptune, in a sextile to Saturn. And I did say that moon might have brought with it some confusion, might have, and it did continue that need for us to structure our lives in a better way, which started for us with the lunar eclipse on 15th May, 16th May, depending on your location. That lunar eclipse in the month of May, 15th May, let's say 15th May, was a fork in the road, right? It was that turning point, it was that decision point, you can say, because it was in a square to Saturn, right? And Saturn is decision, Saturn is structure, Saturn is organizing things for the long run. So around then, this process of streamlining things in our lives, deciding things in our lives, restructuring things in our lives in a certain way started, right? And it continued up until last week. And last week, the full moon was in a sextile with Saturn square to Neptune. And now if you see, and last week, why I brought this up, last week that decision was still continuing. Should I, shouldn't I? What's the best way to restructure my life? What's the best way to get organized? That sort of thing. And there was some confusion with the square to Neptune. Not necessary. could have been. And this aspect, square to Neptune, did require us to kind of, keep in mind our intuition, right? Keep the intuition in mind, or go with the gut as well. And now if you see, right, the sun has moved on, so the confusion, if there was any, is easing off, right? It's easing off. And that decision, right, that decision that we've been trying to make for a month now, I think that's getting easier and easier. And it may not be a decision, right? It may just be restructuring our lives in a certain way. It could be restructuring our thoughts in a certain way. It could be organizing our lives in a different way, because that lunar eclipse was in the sign of Scorpio on the south node, a major closing out point, a major release point, a major letting go point, right? And in Vedic astrology, that eclipse was in the nakshatra of Vishaka. Vishaka is this nakshatra, and nakshatras are like smaller divisions of a sign. That nakshatra represents a fork in the road, right? Two branches splitting up. So that's when that process started. And even last week, we were just like, okay, I've kind of chosen this road, but I don't really know how to go about it. There's still some confusion. Maybe I should go on this road. So, that sort of energy was there. But now I think, if you've been in the process of deciding, if you've been in the process of streamlining, restructuring, or doing something new, right? Or letting go of something old, maybe clarity is coming, right? Maybe clarity is coming. And I think that's all I wanted to say. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week. Bye.